Diane and Denmark here. Rah, rah, hooray, 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 hooray. It is Friday. It's finally Friday. We've made it to the end of another week. And this is also the end of week 2, day 5, jour 5 of our New Year, New You course. Now, remember last week we were working on our little routines, making sure that we're being consistent, keeping ourselves motivated. I gave you all the tips and tricks for that. And hopefully you are kind of dressed to shoes. I've got my usual uniform. My uniform, as you will know if you've been with me for a while, is either my jeans or some blue trousers. That's basically what it is. In the summer I'm usually in dresses, but right now it's in the winter. Some kind of top and a little jacket. That's my uniform. That's my go-to uniform. Hopefully you are ready to start the day, or if you are watching this in the evening, please make sure that you've done your evening routine, so either your morning routine or your evening routine. And this week we have been working in all 5 Flylady Zones, and as I explained yesterday, usually in Flylady we have a week to work in each zone, and I normally do 15 minutes at the beginning of the week, and then I've got my wee cleaning caddy which moves around the zones, and if I've got a few minutes here and there while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil, you know, if we're doing kitchen zone, or if I'm watching something on the TV, I can do a wee spot of, I don't know, dusting or something. I just do a few minutes here and there. Please do not feed into that mindset that you need to be doing 15 minutes in the zone every single day. Just get off, you know, your bahookie and do something, and that's all you need to do to really make a change in here. Anyway, we're on to day 5, so it's zone 5. Zone 5 is the living room. Now, you've all seen the living room before. It's a bit different today because it was my husband's birthday yesterday. So we've got the flags. I've turned his birthday cards around, so you know, I never share my family stuff. I give them their privacy. This channel is not about us, it's about showing you how you can just make some simple changes, how you can keep up with your housework, and when you've done that, it frees up your time to do all the fun stuff. And that's the other thing that I share on my channel here about winter bathing or life in Denmark when we go travelling. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the show. Let me just move you back a bit, and we'll be doing the same as we've done the other days this week. And I'll just take off my jacket because it's actually quite warm in here this morning. Very mild for the season here in Denmark. We've got tons and tons of rain. And as usual, you can either do the same as me. If you're just starting with Flylady, I suggest that you just work on your decluttering. I'm just going to be doing a quick kind of clean in this area, and I'll chat to you along the way. And otherwise, if you're so far ahead with that, you might want to just take something, you know, out of the cleaning lists that we made up when we did our house finder. If you missed that, and if you don't know what the Flylady is, I've got a refresher course which walks through all the steps, and I shall put the link up there. But anyway, less talk and more action. And I'll do my usual thing first, and we'll do the ceilings. Oh, look at that, muscles. We'll do the ceilings and then the skirting board. So let me just grab that. Right, I'm ready, hope you are. And if you're just finding this series, we're just doing a quick go over of the 5 Flylady Zones, because many of us, you know, have been celebrating Christmas, you've maybe been ill, you've maybe been away on vacation, and it's just really nice to kind of get back on track with things. So this is just a kind of reset week. There we are, that'll do for that. Oh, and this one here. And I like to go around clockwise because it just reminds me of where I'm at. Okay, I've done the ceilings, now I'm going to do the corners and the skirting boards. And remember, just use whatever you've got. If you've got a stick, you could put a microfiber cloth on the top of it with an elastic band. You know me, I hate when people feel like they have to buy something you know, special to get their cleaning done. I mean, I've got this wee thing that we got like at the equivalent of the pound shop, It was either Tia or Normel or Sust on the Klein. Anyway, for like 10 krona, which is like £1 or like $1. But in the past, I've used one of the kids' rulers and an old sock to get between, you know, the radiator bits. So don't feel like you need anything special. Just do it. Right, I'm still going around with the baseboards. Behind the telly, underneath here, there we are, behind, this bit here, there we are. And you may hear Tweet and Sparky, our lovebirds, my son's lovebirds, in the background. It's still very dark here this morning. Let me see. And normally they're still asleep, so when the lights went on, they were like, oh, do we have to get up? Right, hold on, just put the lights on. Oh, and you will notice we've got 2 bulbs needing replaced. So I'll get one of the tall chaps in the house to do that later today. And normally I would write that down immediately because I've got, like, I get a thought and then, are you like that? That's why I love having these systems, because then I can just write it down and I'm not having to remember everything. Right, next, what should we do? What should we do? Oh, I tell you what, should we do a squish squish? Okay, let's do the windows. Hold on. Right, just grab the cleaner. I'll take one of my rags, and then on the table we've still got the flags from yesterday from my husband's birthday, and the wee candle. Just see that. Wee candle with the flags on it. Those are allowed to stay here for the rest of the day. We've also got flags in some of the plant pots. There we are. And if you want to know how we celebrate Danish birthdays, and you know, in Denmark we have so many traditions for things. That's why I love Denmark. They're all in my Life in Denmark playlist. Anyway, I'll get with windows. Just generic window cleaner, a purple rag which I folded into 6ths, so I don't need to be taking 100 different rags with me. And I'll do the window sills at the same time. This morning. Scoosh, scoosh. Remember, you don't need to do the windows every time you're in the zone, but I do, because you know it takes like a minute. And here in Denmark, generally speaking, we don't have a lot of curtains and things because we like to be able to see out and let the light in. And as I mentioned yesterday, no screens because we don't have weird flying insects. There we are. Right, that's the windows done. And I'll just turn over my rag and I'll just wipe off the flat surfaces here. Open the window a little bit. And I'll just wipe the lamps at the same time. Like that. And usually I have those blinds a bit more open, but it looks out into the neighbour, so that's why I keep them closed when I'm filming. Right, next up is the door out to the garden. I won't show you out there for privacy reasons. You get on with whatever you're doing. And here we go. Can you hear this? Scoosh, scoosh. Scoosh, scoosh. That goes back in the cleaning caddy. Right, I'm up on my tiptoes. And then just turning my my rag over. Hooray, that's the second one done. The blinds down again. And we don't have any mirrors in here, but if we had any mirrors, I would do that. But I'll continue with the dusting of flat surfaces. I'll just use the same cloth and turn it over. Now that's why I like doing it this way, because before I would just be taking a cloth and then going like that, and then you don't know what's clean and what's dirty. Oh, I tell you what, I've actually got my dusting mitt that came out the wash yesterday. Okay, I'm going to go clockwise, and if you didn't already do it before you started, make sure just to scan the room, see if there's anything in here that doesn't belong, that needs to go out into the hall. Maybe you've got boxes for recycling. Maybe you took down your Christmas decorations and they're still in a box in the corner somewhere. Just move those things out of here. Right, I shall get on with my dusting over here. Let's go. Moment. And this isn't too bad because my daughter gave a really good detailed dust when we took down the Christmas decorations. Right, and here behind, I don't know if you can see it, this is my basket of library books. But then that way we can keep everything together. And also anything that I pick up at the book exchange, and I take a look and then see if we want to take it back. So I'm looking on, my husband picked up a couple of P.D. James for me at the book exchange, and I've read one which was fantastic, A Certain Justice. It's set in London, in the life of barristers and QCs and lawyers. And you know, I used to work in that environment, and I know many of these types, and it was just a fantastic book. Anyway, I haven't read the other one, so I'm looking forward to that. And the other thing I found, let me see, oh yeah, I found this little book exchange, and I picked it up to show you. Now this is, I'm sure many of you have read this book. It's really not my kind of thing, one of those, okay, I haven't read it, but it's one of those romance things, and that's really not me. But because actually my mum gave me a copy of it, and she didn't like it either. But it all starts with, well, I'll just show you chapter 1. Have I mentioned this to you before? Perhaps. Okay, here it all starts. Rankeeler Street in Edinburgh. Now, my granny and granddad, they lived in Rankeeler Street, and I was like, oh, that's where Granny and Grandad lived. So there we go. Anyway, this one is going back to the book exchange. I'll put that there so don't forget it. And actually, we've got 2 books out here which need to go back in the library basket. Some that we've been looking at the last couple of nights. We're going to Korea for our holidays this summer. So anyway, I like to keep them all in the basket. That way, everything is contained. Okay, but this one is definitely going back to the book exchange. It's just so funny when you see something, you're like, my granny and granddad were in Rankeeler Street. Anyway, I'll dust off, and I'm going to keep going with my dusting. What time are we at? Oh yes, we've got a couple more minutes. And actually this coffee table here is the only time that I use any product. So just give a wee spray there. And I only use product here because it's a solid wood table and it gets a lot of use. This is where the family commune in the evening, and we've got all our books out, and you know, we've like yesterday we were eating cake, birthday cake, and we're having a cup of tea and a biscuit. So this table sees a lot of action. But then in the evening when we go to bed, everybody takes their stuff and clears the stuff out of the room. we go. So that can stay for the rest of the day. But tomorrow, the birthday stuff will be gone. Right, that's that done. Okay. And then I'll keep dusting. Hold on. There we are. Right. Oh, this is one of my new DVDs that I got for Christmas, Father Brown. I'm loving that one. That's my pamper time evening when I was watching Father Brown. Right. Okay, as I said, the cards and the flags get to stay right now. But actually, what I will do today is remove these. We're kind of the last of the Christmas ornaments. Remember I said to you, I take down all the red stuff very quickly, but these ones will be going away today, so I'll pop those over here. I'll tell you what, I'll pop the book beside them so I don't forget the book. Right, almost done on the home run. And remember, you don't need to do everything today or everything in 15 minutes. We're just making a wee bit of progress, and hopefully you've spotted a few things that can go out. Right. Maybe you want to water your plants. I do that usually on a Monday or during the week when I'm doing, my weekly blessing hour tasks. There we are. Right, my little table here beside another of the reading chairs. This is from this is what I'm reading at the moment. And I went through the newspapers yesterday, so these are all going out for recycling, but I did hold on to them because I don't know if you've been watching British TV or Netflix recently. There was a series called Dracula, and it's pretty scary. It's kind of hide behind the sofa stuff. But the main actor, Claes Bang, is Danish, and I know a lot of you didn't realise that. He's really great in the part, but I couldn't help thinking, gosh, it sounded like, if you closed your eyes, it sounded like Jude Law. Anyway, we have a lot of famous Danish actors who have made it big outside of Denmark. And just in the newspapers that I was reading, catching up on this week, Peter Muging, he's a local. He was in that Christmas film Last Christmas. I haven't seen Last Christmas, it's not really my kind of thing. But he was in that. So if you've seen the film Last Christmas, you will maybe recognise Peter. He lives around here, you see him all the time. His kids went to the same nurseries as mine. And then here on one of the local free newspapers, there is, what's his name now? I've forgotten his name. Jesper Christensen. And Jesper Christensen, you may recognise him from being in the James Bond films. He was Mr. White. Is he there? Yeah. And another, just a funny thing that I came across in the newspaper. Of course, all the things are for, remodelling your house, and, we're into 2020, and a lot of it is bathroom stuff. And look at that. Do you recognise that bath? That's the bath that we have upstairs. And another funny thing that I saw. Okay, I won't keep you back anymore. I said I would be a bit chatty today. And one of the features about where to go on holiday this year, on vacation, is Slovenia. And there is Lake Bled, where I'm going to be swimming in the World Championships of ice swimming. It's called ice swimming, or it's called winter swimming. And those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen all the pictures of us training. And this weekend, I'm participating, and Vibeka's coming too, along with many of the other ladies that we know. We are participating in the first ever Danish Championships of winter swimming. So go us. So anyway, was there anybody else in the newspaper? Oh, probably. Well, I have a lot of beans. So these are going in the recycling. Remember, if you've got piles and piles of newspapers, are you going to read them? I mean, two days later, these are only for wrapping up fish and chips. I mean, the news has gone. And if you are intending to read it, put them in a basket and say, okay, I'm going to read it by this time next week or whenever. Don't have them just kind of piling up. So I've got those to go to recycling. I've got the book, which is going to the book exchange, and I've got the last of the Christmas decorations. And I think looking around, that is it. So anyway, I hope you have a fantastic Friday. Let me just get my pom-poms and get my jacket on, because as soon as I've uploaded this, I'll hopefully get it out to you before I leave the house, otherwise it'll be a bit later this morning. All I've got left to say to you is, please just do a wee spot of cleaning or decluttering. Don't feel like it has to be perfect. I know a lot of you have commented the last couple of days saying that you know, you're finally seeing that by just doing a wee bit of work in this room, you can see changes with it, okay? It doesn't need to be all, it's not the all or nothing. And you don't need to be do what we've been doing this week of doing all 5 Flylady Zones. I wouldn't recommend that normally, because it's just too much. This was just to get us back into the zone stuff again. If you've, you know, if you had kind of stepped back from it and we're just concentrating on your routines over the Christmas period. So anyway, on that note, live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you, including the flags. Oh, and I forgot to light the candles this morning. Never mind. Anyway, I'm heading out the door. So I'll send you off on your merry way with a rah, rah, rah. And I'll see you next week. A couple more videos in this series, and that will us be done. So anyway, see you very soon.